with yet another session of week ahead with Religare technicals. So I'll just briefly talk about how the markets performed this week and what all expectations that we have, what all indications that we have from the major indices, both Nifty and Bank Nifty for the next week, and stocks which should be on your radar both on the long and short side. So before that, this disclosure, see, whatever we are sharing in this presentation is our view, is our observation on the markets. These are not trading recommendations. So please use your own discretion or take advice from your financial planner before you take the call. Now talking about indices first, both Nifty and Sensex shed nearly 1% each, and it's 3 weeks of rebound, which fizzled out a bit, and we saw that for the most part of the week the market remained on the back foot. It was Friday, that is today, we saw some rebound in the market which helped the index to pare losses, but still we ended with a cut of nearly 1%. So where the actual pressure was, so you can see, when it comes to the sector performance. So first we'll talk about the gainers: energy, pharma, realty, auto, FMCG. And these were the sectors which contributed to the gains. So if you see this, left hand, table which shows gainers, so energy is the only new addition. Other than that, all these stocks, all these sectors were doing well, and it was a rebound in the energy which actually, had the sector to inch higher. Now talking about losers, IT remained on the back foot, and in fact it was the only sector which remained under pressure throughout the week and shed nearly 6%. And rest, it was a profit taking in the banking and financial in the media space, which dragged the index lower. Now talking about top stocks from the Nifty 50 basket, both on the gainers and loser side. So you can see on the left hand side of the table in the top gainers list, we have 2 names from the auto pack. So that is continuously we are seeing that the auto has been doing well. And other than that, the energy counters where we witness the rebounds, NTPC, ONGC is there on the list, plus a stock from the FMCG basket, that is Tata Consumers. Now on the loser side, for obvious reason, because the Nifty index was Nifty IT index was down around 6%. So 4 of the 5 names are from the IT pack, which lost in the range of 5 to 10%. And plus we have one telecom name, Bharti Airtel, which also shed nearly 6%. So this was, the overall construct for the week that we've just ended. And now talking about markets. So last week, if you remember, those who have joined us earlier, that we talked about 15,900. So that is the area basically where we were eyeing that Nifty should hold in case if there be any profit taking. And we finally managed to hold that zone decisively, despite of the profit taking bias which started from the beginning of the week. But one important thing is that you can see this line in the bottom. So it's basically a trend line which shows that Nifty is respecting this level. If we join last 2 lows of the Nifty, and we almost tested the zone close to around 16,840, 850 zone and rebounded. So Nifty is right now, respecting this area. Again, I would say that it's just a rebound that we are seeing in the market. It's not the reversal. So we are just playing a rebound. But as long as we are holding 15,900, the possibility of rebound to extend further is high. And what we are eyeing next, so 16,500 is ultimately the major hurdle. But prior to that also, 16,300 might act as an immediate hurdle. So broadly, this kind of a range that we are anticipating. So 15,900 first support, then 15,650. That's the red line, that's horizontal line that you can see on your screen. And on higher side, 16,300 to 16,500 is what we are eyeing. So this is what the Nifty looks like. Now comes the important part, banking index, because banking and financials were the one actually who held the index to regain the momentum in the previous week. But last week also, we saw that the banking was slightly on the back foot, because the 35,500 zone, which we were anticipating that it might take a resistance around that level, it actually, behaved like a very strong resistance area. this red line you can see on your screen, this 200 days of exponential moving average. So it couldn't surpass this level decisively, and then we saw profit taking bias. So what next for the week? So what we are seeing is that in line with the other sectors, we are also seeing profit taking. So two sectors which are continuously under pressure, that is IT and metal. But other than that, auto, FMCG, select stock from pharma, reality, and banking and financials, they are the one actually who is helping the market to hold. So we expect banking index to hold this positive bias, and the level should be 34,000 mark in case if we have to maintain this positive rebound or positive bias to continue. But for a momentum to regain, we need a decisive breakout above 35,500. That is the 200 days of exponential moving average. Otherwise, this range bound bias will continue, and downside, as we said, the 34,000 and then 33,500 is going to be the major area. But below 34,000, the kind of moves that we are witnessing in the private banking space, the rebound selectively in the financial space, it might fizzle out. So 34,000 is something that you should keep a close eye on. And similarly for the banking index, for the NIFTY index is 15,900. Now, since we are seeing mixed trend within the sectors, within the indices, so what all stocks that you should be focusing on? So first we'll talk about the positive structures that we have. So this is one stock from the capital goods space which is doing exceptionally well. The stock name is ABB. So the stock has recently made a new record high, and last week it was more on a consolidation phase, that after making a new record high, after this breakout from this range, this broader range from 2450-60 area and downside close to 2050, after this breakout it's hovering in a very narrow range. So it's offering an opportunity to go long in case if you have missed the chance earlier. So ultimately, the stocks which are showing resilience, despite the markets are still in the back foot, we are just seeing a rebound. The indices, not that the markets have reversed. For reversal, as we have discussed earlier, that 16,800 is the key level. But some of these stocks are doing exceptionally well. They they are not only trading at the 52-week high, but at the record highs, and one of this stock is ABB. So we expect this positivity to continue. Last week we talked about Dr. Reddy, and the stock was up around 6%. So we hope similar kind of traction in ABB as well. So this stock should be on your radar when it comes to the buy side trade. Another important stock and interesting stock to look at is BEL. This is Bharat Electronics. So this stocks in the defense space, be it HAL, BEL, BDL, they have been holding very strong irrespective of the market situation. And in fact, BEL is now trading on the verge of a breakout from a triangle pattern. So that indicates, after this breakout, we had retracement, but it strongly upheld the consolidation area, the neckline area of the previous consolidation zone. And now it's again set for a breakout. So we expect this move to extend further, and this stock should be in your radar when it comes to the long trade. Now, next comes, what if the market bias, negative bias continues further, or we breach 5,900 in the index, in NIFTY, and we drift lower. So one sector, rather two, like IT and metals, which are reeling under pressure despite of the oversold position. So from the IT space, this Coforge, which was NIT Limited earlier, has witnessed a fresh breakdown. You can see this consolidation was going on. The trend is down, but instead of witnessing any rebound or a decisive up move, it witnessed a breakdown. So we expect it may fizzle out further and it will continue to underperform the next week. So in case if you get the opportunity to go short, you can consider this stock. And lastly on the list, of course, from the metal space, Tata Steel. So again, both IT and metals, they are trading largely on the similar lines, that despite the oversold position, we are not seeing any respite, and any marginal rebound is basically wherein we are seeing more selling pressure coming in. So Tata Steel also, after this recent bounce that you can see here, it failed to fizzle out, it failed to hold at the high levels and again fizzling out. So in case if there be any shorting opportunity, you can consider metal and especially Tata Steel for the next week. So these are the four stocks. If I'll just talk about in brief, ABB, BEL on the long side, and Coforge and Tata Steel on the short side. So just to sum it up, when it comes to indices, 15,900 is something that you should keep a close eye on to maintain the positive bias in the Nifty. And similarly for the banking index is 34,000 mark. And when it comes to stock, ABB and BEL for the long side, and Coforge and Tata Steel on the short side. So yeah, that is all from our side. A quick poll and then we'll begin with the Q&A session. In case if you have any question, you can put that in the Q&A tab. And please restrict your questions only to the topic and indices that we have shared. No stock specific queries, please. All right, in case if you have any question, you can put in the Q&A box. See, not to raise hand, please put your question in the Q&A box. And we'll start with the question from Ankit, that should we keep on sell on rise strategy in the current market scenario? So Ankit, what we have discussed is when it comes to Nifty, 5,900 is something that we are eyeing. In case if we close this level, then we will see this buyer shifting from buy on dips to sell on rise, because then the buyers would shift from sideways to negative. So that's not the case right now. So as long as we are holding above 5,900 in the closing basis, you can continue with buy on dips. But yeah, of course, when it comes to the indices, we are seeing erratic swings. It's prudent that you should stick with option strategies instead of going naked long and short in futures, especially for the overnight trades. See, stock specific questions, I requested please avoid anything which you have shared in the presentation. Please feel free to ask. We'll be more than happy to answer. All right, so we don't have any question in queue. Thank you everyone for joining in. Next week, we'll catch up the same time, 4 o'clock, and we'll talk about markets and other things. Thank you.